This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Hello and welcome to another, what I think would be musically fantastic edition of Bells with Books. I am your host, Miranda, and of course, I'm not alone because who wants to hear me talk to myself? No one. Not even my dog. Trust me. Her judgment shows me. So I'm here with one of my best friends, Bianca.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing today, Bianca?
I'm good. I'm having a lazy day because this is the first day that I have not left the house. I'm probably going on 3 weeks.
I felt that. That was Wednesday for me. I was like, no one better need anything from me today.
So I have been either reading or playing blueprints.
That's so much more fun than what I have been doing today. I have been going through things and deciding what we are keeping and what we are not. And explaining to my husband why my books belong in tote bins and not cardboard boxes to move.
Like, it's one thing to put them in cardboard boxes if you're just, like, moving down the road or something.
Yeah,
but when you're doing a huge move like you're doing, no.
Yeah.
No.
They're loaded on a ship and you don't see your belongings for 3 months.
That would stress me out.
If you understand, I think based on the Marco I sent last night, you know the level of stress I am at over this. And Jerry was like, it's okay. I already told you this, but he was like, he's trying to be super sweet. And he's like, what if we just add the package where they pack our stuff for us? And those of you that know me know my face doesn't lie. And so I just looked at him and he was like, okay, so what if you pack all the things that you're concerned with, like all your breakable, collectible things, and then we can just pay them to pack everything else. And I looked him dead in the face and I said, we have been married for 20 years and you are still not understanding the depth of love that I have for my books. I'm packing my books myself. He was like,
well, that, and I was like, and they won't go touching my stuff.
That's honestly, thank you. It's like,
it's not like I have anything to be embarrassed about or anything. Exactly. I just don't want people touching my stuff.
Exactly. And like, I know usually they don't pack like your clothes and stuff. I'm not new to this. So they do usually give you a list and say, these are the things that we will pack and these are the things that we will not pack. And then sometimes they give you a list and say, hey, unless you tell us not to pack it, we touch everything. And I don't know why, but the thought of someone going through my things.
Well, and like, if you don't know where those hands have been. I'm just saying,
yes. And like, the other thing is you already have to go through everything because like, there's a bunch of stuff like you're not going to take, right? Like as you start cleaning off bookshelves, you're like, oh, there's those 3 letters that I laid there and I don't need, like that came in the mail a year ago, that kind of things. Right. So like, if I'm already having to go through everything, I'll just do it myself. I've never paid anyone to pack us. And all of the moves that we've done, I've always packed ourselves.
Yeah, same.
So I'm like, I think I got this by now. Like, I've made how many international moves? I think I got this. Does it stress me? Yes. Will I cry? Absolutely. But do I want someone to do it for me? No. So that's where we're at. So I've been listening to like a lot of music and listening to other podcasts. I mean, because I can only listen to our own podcast so many times, right?
Yeah, no, I get tired of our voices. No offense.
It's not just that. Like, I listen to it when it first comes out. So, but full transparency. I listen to it before it goes to production. And to see if anything, we don't normally cut anything out ever. We've had a few instances where we've had to like splice pieces together because like one of us is usually me has lost internet or power or something. But like we don't heavily produce our show, but we do have a producer. It does still get edited. So it does still get that done. So I listen to it before it goes to Andy for editing and production. And then I tell him like, this is where this needs to get cut out or you're good. There's nothing that needs to get done. So I listen to it once. Then when it's fully produced, I listen to it a second time. And then right now, cause I'm working on the backlog
Yeah.
I'm like putting it into, I have to listen to them when I'm producing them for YouTube. So like when I'm just doing things around the house, I love us and I want people to listen to us, but I can't do it anymore. Can't.
Someone that I don't know how they're still doing it, Cassandra Clare is putting out a collection of, I'm not going to say short stories because I don't think Cassandra knows the definition of the term short story.
We can say novellas.
Yeah, but it's still a novel. It's still like 800 pages.
Oh my God.
But she's got a new, oh no, what'd I do? Go back. I clicked something on the, no, I lost it. Come back, my precious.
Bring it. It's okay. You can get it back. You can get it back.
Okay, it's back. Let me scroll. Okay. So she has a new, I'm going to say collection of stories coming out called Better in Black, and it is set in the Shadowhunters universe, but it's all various stories from the people that we already know, but it's just like more.
Is this the thing I sent you where I was like, she says this is it. Like, she says this is the final. Like, no more Shadowhunters after this. Like,
well, no, because she's still writing a new trilogy for it.
That's what it is. Sorry. Okay, yeah. She says that new trilogy is it. So but this is
separate from that.
But it's like, she says she is not going to the world of Shadowhunters after this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
But it's called Better in Black. It is 10 stories of Shadowhunter romance. It features Anna and Ari, Emma and Julian, Kieran, Mark and Christina, James and Cordelia, Thomas and Alistair, Sebastian and the Sealy Queen, and then Jocelyn and Luke.
Well, you know what we're about to do? We're about to go to the good old, please sponsor us, Waterstones. And we're going to see if they have a special edition.
Is it Barnes & Noble has a signed edition available right now?
Okay, well, it may be your turn. If it's not on here, it may be your turn to do the ordering.
Oh, I cannot order the signed exclusive. It is temporarily out of stock.
What?
There is a Barnes & Noble exclusive, which I can pre-order, but it doesn't tell me like what's so special about it is that it has colorful end pages. That is what is special about it, it looks like. So, I mean, if you're like really into those characters and stuff, I could see where you would want it, but the signed exclusive is not available for order right now.
That is going to be a fantastic Sabrina gift.
Barnes & Noble usually does a signed deal on Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have every signed book on the planet. So I bet by Black Friday, this will be available.
So broke. Okay. They have it. This is just a pre-order basic. Nothing. It's like not a Waterstone special, not a signed copy. They do have a hardcover that you can pre-order already. Okay. Cover is pretty. It fits. Yeah. It fits.
Yeah. I've officially finished the first 2 trilogies in that series, so I am now on City of Bones.
Oh, you are ahead of me. I need to really catch up. But City of Bones is one that I have already read before. It'll be a reread when I get back to the order in which we were mandated to read it in. Oh.
But I have to take my time with them. One, because they are so thick.
Yes, they chunkers.
And it's taken me 2 years to read those 6 books. So,
well, I mean, you say that like you've not been reading other books too. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's like, I cannot just read that straight. I think I would go crazy.
I don't remember how I used to do that, because that is something that I used to do as a young Miranda reader. Like, I would just plow through, and this is probably why I ended up with such like. I remember huge bouts of, like, not, oh my goodness, not like a book slump, but like almost like a depression. Like, I don't know how else to put it. And I wonder if that's why. It was like, you should break them up.
I just get burnt out on it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I need something new for a minute.
Yeah,
but so this next bit is not new news. I wish it was, But it's new news to me, and that's why I'm including it in these notes.
Right. And that's, you know what? Honestly, when I saw it, I was like, Bianca has said nothing about this. How does she not know? Like, it's not like, I was like, where is I'm waiting for the squee from the other side of the world. What is happening right now? How does she not know?
Well, I'm bringing it up now because it was just brought to my attention recently that Assistant to the Villain is being adapted into a TV show. Yeah. It is being described as Princess Bride meets The Office, which for anyone, The Office is my number one TV show. Okay, y'all. And when
if you don't watch The Office, the next similarity would be Parks and Rec.
Yes. When I say that reading Assistant to the Villain is like reading an episode of The Office, I am not lying. It is
You are not the only person that has said that. I have had friends, though, that are not Office fans that did say, oh my God, you love Parks and Rec so much. How have you not read this book yet? And I'm like, I know, but do you know how long my TBR is?
The third one comes out sometime this year.
I know. I'm like, wait, we're at 3?
Yep. And she's already, I think she just finished 4.
Possibly.
If I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. But the special edition of Assistant to the Villain, like a hardcover special edition, because these books were originally published in paperback.
Yes.
And now they're going back and putting them in pretty hardcovers. It comes out in, I pre-ordered it. Hold on. Barnes & Noble had a huge pre-order sale the past week. And Bianca went a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on there.
I learned something, though, speaking of Waterstones.
Oh, it comes out September 24th. There we go. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Because the last special pre-order we did, we just ordered it both to my house and then I'm shipping you your copy.
Yeah.
So my grandmother, I wanted to get her, she's at the point like, well, what do you get the woman? Like, seriously, she buys whatever she wants on her own. Like she's in her 80s. Like she has everything she needs. Right. Well, Waterstones had a special edition. You can only purchase it in the UK. Signed copy of Paul Hollywood from British Bake Off's new book.
Ooh.
And I ordered that for her for Mother's Day. And she just got it a couple weeks ago, but it was one of those like, hey, I did this thing and I'm not telling you. I didn't say it's a book. I said, but I've pre-ordered this thing for you and I'm doing it for 2 reasons. 1, I know you'll love this. And 2, I want to do a tester to ship a book from the UK to America right now. Because, she did not have to pay any extra to pick it up. And the part that took the longest was it set in customs for a week.
A week?
A week. Like it arrived one day. It arrived like on a Sunday and they didn't clear it until the following Saturday.
What the crap?
It doesn't make any sense to me. But that was what took the longest. To be very honest with you, it was in pristine condition. No problems. So we have now learned that it is possible to order from Waterstones and get it in America.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
So just putting that out there for anybody. And no, Barnes & Noble nor Waterstones pays us to say any of this. We genuinely spend that much money with both of them. But if anyone is listening from corporate of either of those places and you want to give us just free books, you're going to pay us. If you ever stumble across this tiny podcast of ours and think, they talk about us a lot, you damn straight. So how about like some reimbursement here? I'm just saying, if you start having an influx of orders from America, you're welcome. just saying. But
well, next we have Romantasy Queen herself, Rachel Gillig, is calling out authors who use AI, which golf clap, love that.
Which what I love is I love that she's calling out authors that use AI to like write your book. But I have heard of authors saying like, okay, I was really struggling with like name decisions. So I went to ChatGPT and here's what my character is looking like. And I don't know what to name them. Like that is different to me. Like if you're asking like, cause is that really any different than like going to your group of friends and being like, I want to name this character and I don't know what to name them. She's talking about the people that are like flat out reading some of those stupid books like I read and wasted my time on and will never stop talking about. they were full out written by AI because it's getting out of hand.
She posted to TikTok. It was a picture of her and her cat, and it has a text that says, "Reminder that if you see book talkers promoting character AI, quote, enemies to lovers, art between, quote, you and your dream boyfriend, they are actively promoting theft from the very books they claim to support. Don't engage, starve the parasite, humans make art."
Yeah.
And she's referring to that big skerfuffle, I'll call it, where a couple months back, a certain AI model was skimming everything on the internet that had ever been written, and authors did not get any credit or compensation for it.
And there should be some sort of compensation, but also like there's a huge problem, and we've talked about this before, of like, it was like almost overnight after ChatGPT became like out there for all of us, where there were like all these like just published that week books appearing on like Kobo and Kindle and things like that. And it's not okay.
Nope.
It's not okay.
Please purchase and read your art from actual human beings, not computers.
Yeah. And then if you can't tell the difference, well then I guess I did a good job. Because trust me, I feel like you'll know.
Yeah. As of now, you can definitely tell a difference. Well, it's like when I had started following like a couple of like home decoration inspiration TikTok type things.
Me too.
But then a couple of them I noticed they only used AI pictures. And it was subtle. Like you would just see like a table missing a leg, or the drawer pulls not all matching.
Or the back of the tile was wavy. It was very, and honestly, there was one you sent me once that just swiping through the pictures, you were like, oh, those are really pretty. But then you were like, what the? And I was like, okay, well, I'm missing something. And it was something, I was like, the chair had an extra leg and the door handle was like double handle kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like very small. Like if you're just swiping and looking at the picture, like you wouldn't know, you really would, your eyes fill in things. Like that's what we naturally do. So you're not even realizing like, oh, there's an extra leg, but that's, yeah.
Yeah. It's AI.
Yeah. If I ever post anything using AI, I say this was done with AI. Because listen, sometimes turning yourselves into like claymation characters is fun. But clearly I didn't do that. Like, I don't know how to do that.
If anyone wants a new podcast to listen to, Victoria Aveyard and Soman, I always mess up. Chanani, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He's the guy who wrote the School for Good and Evil series.
I always screw up his name too.
But he and Victoria Aveyard have started a podcast called Plot Twist. I have listened to everything except for their newest episode as of today, July. What's today's date?
How many episodes are there so far?
I think 6. They publish one a week.
Damn. Like so sometimes I think to myself, as someone who's been podcasting for, 10, 11 years now, I'm like, I want to be one of those people that can do this once a week. And then I'm like, no, I don't. Like I have friends that have a podcast, a book podcast. They literally do what we do every week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, one of them has 2 children and does voiceover work, like full-time voiceover work. And the other one is a full-time lawyer. And I'm like, how?
Well, and I've noticed, like, I know we tend to go, like, more in depth than other shows do.
Yes.
Pertaining to, like what we're reading and stuff like that.
Yeah. They do spoil things, but they kind of go vague. Their episodes are about an hour and a half, and they do one a week. And I'm like, again, how?
Sorry, y'all. You're only getting us once a month. You're welcome.
Maybe later when we get older and we're like, we gonna tell you about this book today.
I hope you sound just like that in 30 years.
I'll be 70, so I mean, thanks.
But anyways, go listen to Plot Twist. I have enjoyed every episode I've listened to. They are hilarious. They are book besties. They met doing a book tour or like a book conference probably about 10 years ago now. It was when she was still doing the Red Queen series.
Which it looks like it's on YouTube as well, for those of you interested.
They have video on there so you can see their facial expressions.
One day.
One day we'll get there. It's not going to be today because I look absolute troll today.
Girl, you ain't seen me. No one would ever listen again. You'd be like, this girl does what now?
And I think you had a question for me, Miranda.
I do have a question for you. And it is a question driven by social media, something I saw on social media, but it is not a question from social media. It's something I have noticed. And I did ask our girls in our Discord, because we have a private Discord server with our friends, only our friends. Like, there's no one else in there. And I asked maybe a couple weeks ago now, and I think I worded it really poorly. So when you didn't respond, which is fine, because sometimes chat gets going fast in there and, you know, you miss things. I miss it all the time because I'm asleep when you guys start talking.
Well, I was probably just at work.
No, it's okay. That's what I'm saying. But like, it happens. I think I've worded it really poorly as well, because I've already got what I meant. But anyway, I saw a TikTok again today that like really intensified the question for me. So I'm going to try to explain and word this really easy, but I have noticed a huge increase specifically on TikTok, because I do spend much more time over there than I do any social media platform. I have noticed an increase in the book talk community where, you know, a lot of us are doing these things now where we post a picture and we ask a question. And lately I have noticed an influx of people asking, tell me what book you hated that everyone else tends to love. And I enjoy reading the comments on these. Sometimes they make me angry. Listen, I know we're all entitled to our own opinion because we've talked about it before. There's books you like, I don't, vice versa. But I notice, I feel like it's become popular to say you don't like a popular book. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's in for people to be like, oh my God, I hate Colleen Hoover, or just, you know, ACOTAR is disgusting, or it's like a consistent, I feel, personal opinion, I am just really beginning to wonder how many of these people really hate these books, or are they doing it because they want people to like them because they said they hate this book?
Girl, you're preaching to the choir. I've been a Taylor Swift fan since who knows when. She's the number one thing in that, so I get it.
No, so
it's always been quote the cool thing to hate the popular thing, because you'll be like, oh, I'm so different. No.
Well, this time I will say it's not popular for me. I like Taylor, but I don't love Taylor. Like, I don't listen to her.
Well, I'm just saying that's the equivalent. Like, that's nothing new.
Yeah. So, like, do you agree? Like, do you feel like people do this, like, and listen, people can get mad. This is just my opinion. Maybe this is, because, like, one of the questions the other day was, put your most unpopular opinion when it comes to books. Which ones did you hate? So here's my unpopular opinion when it comes to that. I feel like a lot of you out there, they're like, I hated this book. And I don't mean you. I know you genuinely hated ACOTAR. It's okay. You don't like fairies.
Yes.
Plain and simple. Like, you don't in any book. So it's, anyway. So, like, I feel my unpopular book opinion, and I wanted to get your take on this, is I think people say that they hate certain books or certain authors because they feel like it's popular and it's in their best interest to say that. If you could see the hand gestures flying across my face right now, by the way. So, and I'm really, like, I'm reading these comments, and it's like an influx of, like, I can't, and then, like, some of them are just really rude, too. They're like, if you tell me you liked this book, clearly you don't know what a good thriller is. Or if you tell me you liked this book, you know nothing about romance. Or, like, if you say you liked this book, do you even know what a mystery is? And I'm like, whoa.
Well, and another thing that kills me is I'm not trying to sound like elitist or like I know better than anyone else. But what kills me is that when people are like, this was just not like a well-written book, blah, 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 blah. Like, how can you say that this was a good book? And I'm like, I studied literature, legit literature, for 4 years of my life. I have written many papers. I have published papers. I'm a published author. I know what good literature is. Like, I know what I'm talking about. Does everything I read have to be spectacularly written with words that no one knows? No. Sometimes I just want a good time.
Exactly.
Is Fourth Wing the best book that has ever been written? No. But guess what? It's fun.
But I
like to have fun in my life.
Exactly.
Okay?
Thank you. Yes. And technically, no, I didn't spend 4 years studying literature, but I actually am also a published author. I've had 2 articles in a agriculture journal published, and I have had 2 poems published in my lifetime. So, not saying I know everything. My point when people say that, though, they're like, this was horrible. This is the worst written book I've ever read. And I'm like, have you ever written a book?
Have you written anything since 10th grade English?
Listen, I'm just going to put this out there. I hadn't even told you this yet. There's something that you and I have joked about with a few of our friends for years. And that is that Miranda was going to do what?
Miranda's going to do a lot of things. I don't know what you're referring to now.
Writing that stupid book. Listen, Miranda does do a lot of things. She just does a lot of things at once, and then she gets overwhelmed. So I have been putting down my ideas and mapping out, possibly legitimately, actually writing the book that I said I was going to do. And y'all, this is hard.
Yes, it is. It is very hard.
It's hard. It's hard. So I'm not saying like cut writers slack or anything like that. And listen, if you don't like a book, don't read it. That's fine too. And if you want to be loud about it and be like, I don't like this book and here's why, that's fine too. Because listen, how many times will I talk about the Lichen Beast?
I'm proud that you remember the title of it.
Girl, I ain't never going to forget that. It was horrible. Has a whole new word. It's not horrible. It's horrible. So anyway, I just really felt strongly about that, and I wondered what you thought. Like if you felt like also that people just do it, like because they feel like they should say they don't like it.
There's also a difference in being constructive about it and just being loud about it.
Right.
So.
Well, I'm being loud.
That's where I stand on it.
I'm saying don't write with AI.
In our adaptation minute, we have I'm Glad My Mom Died series is coming to Apple TV and is going to be starring Jennifer Aniston. This is, of course, going to be based off of Jeanette McCurdy's memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died. I read that back in 2021, I think.
Mm-hmm. You did. We covered it, I think. Well, like we didn't cover it together, but I'm pretty sure you discussed it here.
It was really good. It's very sad, but very eye-opening, very heartfelt.
You actually said it was like one of the few times that you like sniffled a little.
I did. I did sniffle a little. It hit me.
Oh my God. What? AI knows us, Bianca.
I don't want it to know us. What does it say?
Well, I was trying to type and see what episode that was so that I could tell people like which episode to go back and listen where you talked about I'm Glad My Mom Died. And I didn't finish typing and AI just popped up and says that Bells with Books is the name of a podcast focused on books that is hosted by Miranda and Bianca. The podcast is available on Place to Be Nation.
I'm popular.
Oh, it is? Oh, this just made my day. The podcast features discussions on various books, including those in Alice in Wonderland and other contemporary titles. I think I've said the name of that book so many damn times that AI is like, they talk about this a lot. Oh, it has notable episodes of things people should go listen to of ours.
Is this on Google Gemini?
This is just Google.
Yeah, that's Google Gemini.
Yeah, I'm on Chrome. It's just, wow. Dang. I don't know if I am excited or if I'm scared. Oh, okay. I'm a little hot now.
Popular. You're gonna be popular.
Okay.
It knows us. Okay.
It's true. Anyway.
So what episode was it? Can you see?
I am looking. AI is trying to tell me that too.
Oh, okay.
It said we did indeed discuss this.
I was trying to pull up our notes, but that's scrolling a while.
Yeah.
It would have been in 2023, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? I'll find it. Keep going.
Okay.
I don't want to hold this up because I'm looking for the. I had a moment though.
So this book club called the Enchanted Book Club. It hosts a yearly retreat for whoever is a part of that. I think it's just a local thing up in. I want to say it may be in Canada or it's in the northern U.S. I know it's not anywhere near me. The Enchanted Book Club.
Canadian, I believe.
Let me make sure. They have a website.
Yeah. I want us to do one of those sometime, though, at some point. I'd like us to go on one of those, book retreats.
But anyway, they went on a book retreat, and their leader surprised them with the star herself, Megan Follows.
Mm-hmm.
She showed up. Everyone was, crying, which, honestly, same. I would have done the exact same thing.
Listen, I cried when I met R.L. Stine, so sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But while she was there, she came out and said that she is going to be playing Lucy Maud Montgomery in an upcoming series called Lucy.Maud.
Interesting.
And fun fact, that author prefers to go by the middle name Maud. So I will refer to her as Maud from now on because I did not know that.
Bianca.
Yes.
They have a literary London tour trip we can go on in 2026.
Mm-hmm. I already have my vacation plan for 2026.
The British Library, Jane Austen walking tour, afternoon teas, and bookstores galore. I'll go alone. I go by myself. You know what? That's fine.
But Megan was there and she shared all of this. She said, I've always been incredibly grateful to be introduced as a young woman to the power of a character who is a central figure in her own story. One thing I share with the writers of the show is that our lives were greatly influenced by Anne. She defined us as artists, as writers, and me as an actor. This is coming from Variety. She goes on, this is going to be... it's going to be written by the creator Susan Coyne, who also worked on Daisy Jones and the Six and 2016's Anne of Green Gables. And then Megan is also going to serve as one of the directors. And then that same team has already also optioned The Gift of Wings, which is Montgomery's biography by Mary Rubio. So they got a couple different things going on pertaining to Miss Maud Montgomery. But if you are a fan of Anne of Green Gables like me, just be on the lookout for all of that. I'm hoping we will get more information in the coming months because while Megan was there, she was filming stuff. So I'm hoping that means this is definitely happening. It's not just rumors.
So, I found what episode you discussed. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. And AI gave me the answer again, and I'm sweating. I really don't know how I feel about this. But thank you for coming in clutch because it says that we discussed this book in season 3, episode 1. I didn't know we were broken into seasons, but okay.
I was like, what? We're not in seasons.
I know. I was like, I didn't know we did seasons, but you want to break those down for me? That'd be cool. I guess we're in a season, Bianca. Listen, this is where it got it wrong. We have numbers.
We don't have seasons.
No, I mean, we could, but...
No, we just do it once a month.
It seems stressful. So every year it'd be a new season!
Yeah, no. It's a no.
Yeah, that's a no for me, too. That's too stressful. I already have to keep up with numbers.
I'm trying to go through the notes now. I can just see it.
But we did. If you, I'll put it on our social medias as soon as I find out what episode it is, if you're even interested. So,
okay.
But I don't remember how we ended up picking this. But if you notice at the top of the show, I said that this episode was going to be musically fantastic. And that is because for the month of July, we decided we were going to cover books about music or in regards to music in some form or the other. You know, it is July. You do have a lot of music festivals going on. I think when we were looking at calendar, like what's on this day, there was something musical related. And I was like, you know what? Let's do a book about music. So what I find is very fascinating about this is Bianca and I chose to cover opposite books this show instead of doing the same book together, because we have done the same book together last month. And so last month. So we chose different. And Bianca is going to be giving you a fictional book, and I am going to be giving you a memoir of, so to speak. So we both have something that heavily involves music or comes from a musical person that we're going to cover. But I thought first, since it is about music, that you could, obviously I know who your number one is, but I know two of your number. If I said, give me your top 5 favorite artists and or musicians, I definitely already know 2 of them. But tell the boys and girls who your 5 favorite. Actually, I think I know 3 or 4. Go ahead and tell me your top 5 right now.
Top 5 right now.
Top 5 right now.
Taylor Swift.
Knew it.
21 Pilots. Dua Lipa.
Okay.
Sabrina Carpenter.
I knew it.
Who else have I been listening to? Let me pull up my Spotify. I've been trying to change it up and listen to different things. And that's how I re-entered my 21 Pilots phase. I was like, oh, emo Bianca's back. Sorry, y'all. That's all I can think off the top of my head. Probably say Griff.
That's good ones. So if you had to classify yourself into one music genre, I would call you a pop princess.
Yes.
Are you okay with that?
That is fine by me.
So that's my assumption. I'm going to give you my 5. And then I'm really waiting to see. I'm looking at my Spotify too. I'm like, what have I been listening to the most lately? Because I know who my favorites are, but I'm like, what have I been really heavy on?
I was like, I will say in the summer, I tend to change it up a little bit because I have a whole summer playlist, and it's just laid back tunes that are not really poppy. They're what I would call yacht rock type stuff.
Oh, listen, I love a good yacht rock. I'm not going to even lie.
So right now, my music is not reflective of the rest of the year.
And then also my music, I have certain times of the year as well, like Christmas. My music is not reflective to the rest of the year. That's just not. I'm trying to remember where you see all your favoritely marked songs on, your library. Duh.
On my summer playlist, I have MGMT, Rupert Holmes, Tears for
MGMT is so good.
Lenny Kravitz, Leonard Skinner, Tom Petty.
I'm here for all those.
Foo Fighters.
Fantastic.
It's I've been listening to my summer playlist more than anything.
I have been all over the place. I ain't even gonna lie.
But then I also have my tunes for when people don't move out of the left lane and they just want to chill in the left lane on the road. And I have what I call my bass songs. And
get out of the way.
And what I do is I roll the windows down and I crank my volume all the way up where they're staring at me, and I'm like, move. And then they move over, and it works every time. So
that's great. I have a lot of like what I would classify as like favorites, and my playlist would give someone some major whiplash. But I would say currently my top 5 are Muse, Little Sims, Billy Talent, Alt J, and Paramore.
Okay.
You know me. It's very fitting.
Yeah.
So I would call you a pop princess. I may not want to hear this.
I would just call you emo.
I am emo. Elder emo.
Although I do like Alt J. Brad got me into them.
They're great. I have other recommendations if you like Alt J that are similar in feel.
Okay.
But definitely, I would say like Milky Chance or Bare Hands or Bad Sons.
Yeah, we got Milky Chance.
Bad Sons, Cardiac Arrest, one of my favorite songs ever. Yeah. So so those are our favorites from the Pop Princess and the Elder Emo. We're very pleased to share our playlist with you. We've never done that. Maybe that's something we can do. We can do a dual playlist and share it for any of you guys that would like to hear what we listen to. I also will say I really love when I'm reading lo-fi music.
It depends on what I'm reading.
Oh, sometimes I want like the ones that like match the mood. There's a channel, I think I've sent it to you, and there's one you sent to me, and then there's one I sent to you guys in group. They're different from each other, but it's the ones that like match where you say like, oh, Fourth Wing, and it like, or I'm reading like Lord of the Rings, and it kind of like sets the tone, like matches the mood. Those are really cool. I do really love lo-fi though, but my son, who is 19, came in recently and told me that lo-fi was just jazz for millennials.
That's valid.
And then when I make that noise, he's like, you just sound like Marge Simpson. And he's like, it backs up everything I just said. And I'm like, you get out of here right now. But
do you want to go first? Or do you want me to?
I was going to ask you, we're both covering a book and you are doing fiction and I'm doing nonfiction. What do you want to hear about first? I mean, because you get to hear yourself talk. So like, what do you want to hear about first?
I'll let you go first.
You're going to let me go first. Okay. So let me first say this book was harder to find than I thought. Like the day that we picked this topic and I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to read. And I dropped it down. And then it was time for later Miranda to go off and procure this book. And I was like, what was I thinking? So it is not on Audible. It is not on Kindle. It is not, I could not find it anywhere like that. The only way to purchase it, I found it on American Amazon, which was not really helpful for me. I found it on German Amazon for 30 euros. I finally found it on...
What does euro translate to in dollars?
About 30. So if it was 30 euros, it was about $35.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot for a 200 and something page book.
Yeah.
I chose The Way I Am by Eminem, which will always be one of my other favorite artists. This book apparently came out. I did finally get a PDF version of it from Scribd, which I had to get a subscription to because every like 2 pages it would block it with an ad and be like, if you want to see more. I was like, ugh. But I didn't know it was going to be this complicated to find it. On American Amazon, it says you can buy this book for, well, now it's dropped significantly, but the paperback version is showing up as $19.
Is it part of the Prime Day deals? Because today's the last day of Prime.
I thought Prime was over on the 11th.
Oh, I thought it went through this weekend. Okay, never mind.
But it's saying it's currently 43% off price. Its list price is still $32 daggum. So, for any of you that want it, it's 208 pages. It came out October 27th of 2009. It just happens to be mine and Jerry's anniversary is October 27th. And it is from Eminem. Now, I will say this book is very fascinating because it's not just a typical book. It is a mix of lyrics it's a look into, like, it's like part scrapbook, part diary. And it's like his personal stories. There are very rare photos, handwritten lyrics. It's just like a really raw reflection from him. And you're kind of getting like the front seat row to like this creative chaos that he has. And basically like all the contradictions that define his life. And so it is highly fascinating. And if I didn't say the title, it is the same as one of his songs, The Way I Am. So yes, it is listed as a memoir, but the book opens with a tribute to his best friend and longtime collaborator, Proof. For those of you that don't remember who Proof was, he was a founding member of D12, which was Eminem's band. He does reference it in a couple of his songs that have blown up on TikTok again. So Proof passed away in 2006, and it really left Eminem like extremely gutted. He wasn't really just his friend. That was family. He was a mentor. He was a protector. And Eminem even wrote in his book, he says, he was my ghetto pass. And he talks about the grief that basically sets the tone for everything for him that comes after. So then he goes back to talking about being Marshall Mathers, which is who he was before he became the name Eminem. But he talks about his tough childhood in Detroit, constantly moving. He was very bullied. He struggled. He was, he was a kid in poverty, and he really used hip hop as his escape. Like we use books, and that's why we're here, right? I mean, we do use music as well. I would think the two of us do. We're a mix of music and books, but he used hip hop for sure. I honestly think most book girlies are music girlies too. Honestly.
Yeah, because you use the same parts of your brain.
You do. And it really evokes an emotion. And honestly, we've talked about it before. There are a lot of authors that have playlists that go along with their books, and we'll listen to those. Or like we've talked, you see it on TikTok, and you've even said it like privately, like, oh, this book made me think of this song, or this moment made me think of this song. So like, it definitely invokes something in us that kind of like, works. So he does talk about being an outsider. He's basically a white kid in a very black dominated rap world, and how that made him work like even harder to be taken seriously. And so we kind of get the birth of Slim Shady. This is his darker, like unfiltered alter ego, which I'm sure you guys all know. And he explains how Shady allowed him to like channel that rage and that pain and the humor in ways that like he himself, like actual Marshall, couldn't. Which I know some people are going to be like, well, that doesn't sound good. Well, I mean, have you listened to the man's music? He was struggling, okay? He says, he actually says, quote, Slim Shady gave me a voice when Marshall didn't have one. And I thought that was really powerful, because we've all been, even if you were the popular kid, everybody's been that like teenager that wasn't quite sure who they were, and sometimes didn't show the real them because they didn't feel like they had a voice, or they weren't sure who they were. And so I think regardless of how you grew up, that line from him can be very powerful. And he says that voice from Slim basically changed his entire world. We do get details about his discovery by Dre, which we all know if Dre hadn't found him, would he even be where he is? He does pay, to this day, he gives a lot of thanks to Dr. Dre. This is his rapid rise to fame, and how overnight success brought both like the opportunity that he had always wanted, as well as very overwhelming pressure. He pulls no punches when he talks about the media, censorship, and even people trying to define him. And one of the most, in my opinion, iconic quotes taken from the song is, I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would you say I am? It's really kind of like more than a lyric when you read this book. It like drives it home that it's basically his rebellion against being like boxed in and what everyone was trying to make him, what everyone had always tried to make him, essentially. He does open up in this book, which he's done publicly in many interviews as well. He opens up about his battles with addiction, and then especially going back to Proof's death, how his addiction came back and how he hit rock bottom before he found his way back. Because, in 2006, like, he was a name already. Like, because he'd become a name pretty quickly when I was in high school. So 2006, he's got money where if you have an addiction, that's not good. He at no point glamorizes it, though. He never does. He fully admits that there were days that he couldn't even get out of bed. I have seen home video of, like, Haley when he couldn't even, like, she's like, Daddy, and he can't even, like, focus. He said there was points that he was, like, struggling so bad with his addiction that he couldn't even write anything. And, of course, at this point, you're Eminem. You need to be giving us more. Like, where's your next album? I will say, though, the book, even though it sounds extremely depressing, is not all dark. He does talk about fatherhood, his very fierce love for his daughter, which, if you've been a fan of him or even remotely know anything about him, you know the depths that he will go to make sure she has a fantastic life. This is not in the book, but it's like a side note. He goes to the level of, like, when she graduated, I think it was high school, he refused to go into the auditorium. He sat and watched her in a, like, classroom on TV monitors because he said this was her day. And he knew if he walked into that auditorium where everyone else was sitting, he's Eminem. Like, he's not
he would
right.
show.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not having a big head here, but, like, I know who I am. And I know she lived a pretty normal life too. Like, she still went to a relatively normal high school and everything from what I remember. And he did not want to take that away from her. Like, that was her day. And recently he just posted video on social media of her telling him that he was pregnant. And something in me, since, I became a fan of his pretty, like, the minute he hopped on the scene in, like, high school, I cried with him. Like, I don't know why, but that genuinely, like, I felt his emotion. I feel like listening to his music as long as we have and, like, knowing the lyrics and knowing what he's been through, like, when you see things like that, it's a genuine reaction from him. So, like, I cried too when she announced she was pregnant to him. But he did say in the book that she gave him something to fight for. And he does say, I'd kill for my daughter. And you know what, bro? I would kill for my son too. So I get it. And I know that there are people, we've actually talked about this before, that clip that went around TikTok a while ago where they were like, would you kill for your child? And people were like, no. And I was like, yeah. So I feel that, and I may not be on the same level that he is with that, but, like, when he wrote that with zero ambiguity, he knew, like, he knows without a doubt. And I'm like, I feel you. And I get that. Throughout the whole book, though, Eminem does share pages from his personal lyric notebooks. Excuse me. Keep, like, trying to get the hiccups. Everybody's like, she's crying. No, I have hiccups. But he shares personal lyrics from his notebooks. It includes early drafts of Stan, Lose Yourself, and The Way I Am. You kind of get a glimpse into his process, and it is pure gold. I'm not even going to lie. There's a lot of, like, you can pair up a lot of songs that you know from him pretty easily to go along with this book. I will say, at first I was like, why is this book so expensive? But, like I said, it does include, it is almost like a scrapbook that he decided to share with the world. It's like diary, scrapbook, lyrics, notebook kind of thing. And so I think at the end of the day, if you are a fan of Eminem, then even me telling you it's expensive, it's worth it from, like, a collector's standpoint for sure. Overall, this book is not a polished celebrity memoir. Okay. So, like, you can't go into it thinking that that's what it is. It's not, what's the latest memoir I read? Okay. I think the most recent one I read, and it's been a few years ago now, was probably the Prince Harry thing. That is not this. It is not refined. It is him. It is pure Eminem. It's messy. It's loud. It even contradicts itself. But that's what makes it so powerful. And that's what makes you want to continue, especially if you are a fan of his. It's just very raw and emotional at times. Like, straight up, I did cry. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Because he's always been so unapologetically himself. And that really comes through in this book. For those of you that go looking for it, I do want to give you the forewarning that I thought I had found an audio version of it. And I was very excited because when you click on it, since we talked heavily about AI, when you click on this YouTube video, it sounds like him. You're like, I know who that is. It was done with AI. And it's only like 3 chapters of the book, the first 3 chapters of the book. So do not do that. And honestly, I did listen to like the first, I think like 5 minutes. What gives it away is AI, even though it is absolutely his voice. It has no tone to it, which I know he's kind of like a monotone speaker, but this is different. There's like no pauses, no tone, no
inflections.
You feel deeply. It's not human, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know that. This book definitely shows the real him, and I just don't feel like knowing the content of this book, because I found the audio after I had completed the book, because I wanted to tell everyone, like, where else can you find it? Even though I had already tried to find it on audio beforehand, and I'm glad I didn't. Even if there were an audio version, I would say do not do that unless there were an audio unless he at some point later came out with an audio version that he actually narrates himself, and that has when you get some audiobooks, there's like a PDF file where you can still get the pictures and things like that. That is the only way I think I would do this book, is if he legitimately narrated it himself and I still got the photos and the lyric pictures and things like that you get, because otherwise you just don't get the same experience. Like, you need to hold this. He is, I don't know, he is lyrically, he is such a genius that it even comes through in the book, even though it is chaotic, because that's what his life has been. He basically went from this Detroit kid to this heartbroken friend, and then a very overprotective dad. And at the end of the day, he, this whole time, has been rage-fueled survivor who never wanted to be anyone's role model in the end. But he did become one, and he's a pretty great one. So if you've ever listened to his music and wondered where all that rage and fire and anger came from, and you just weren't sure, The Way I Am gives you those answers. So I don't think I could say it any more than, like, highly, highly recommend this book. Consider it a mixtape of memories. Angry, honest, and deeply human. That's what I'll say.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. I did love it, but it's only 208 pages. I also thought it was longer.
It is kind of short. But
yeah, but
if you, like you said, if it's not like all pretty and polished and edited like a
not.
Quote normal memoir would be.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And I did discover he has another book I didn't know existed called Angry Blonde. Me too, buddy. Me too. I might check that one out as well. It's only 160 pages. It was $15. So, that's better.
Yeah. It's half the price because it's half the pages.
It's not even half the pages. It's only like 48 less. But I do highly recommend. I did give it 5 stars. I completed it in like a day. And then, so I read completely cover to cover in one day. So I guess you'd call it a one sitting book. I mean, yes, I got up and did things in between, but to me, if you finish a book in one day, that's a one sitting. Maybe somebody will disagree with me. That's my take. So it was a one day book, but I went back through it and like reread some parts and just had like an emotional like Emo moment. Yeah. Yeah. That's who Miranda is.
Anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Did you enjoy hearing about my Eminem book?
Yeah. Because I know nothing about Eminem, so.
What?
The first time I heard an Eminem was his collaboration with Rihanna. Girl, you know how I grew up.
I know. And, you know, I will say this, like, sometimes there are a lot of things, like, as far as, like, growing up that, like, our small age gap doesn't make a difference. And then other times, like, it's weird how just, like, a 3-year age gap can make a big difference. I don't remember what our age gap is right now. My brain is failing me. But, like, my husband and I have a 3-year age gap. And every now and then, just 3 years, we're like, wow, that makes a big difference. But it really doesn't in, like, the scheme of things. But, like, life things. Like, what he experienced at one point versus, like, what I experienced. Like, for example, we were talking about 9/11. And I was like, I remember where I was. Well, he was being shipped off to, like, go fight the thing. And I was in class of junior year of high school.
I was in 5th grade.
Yeah. But you remember, but you're still of the range. You're still part of the group of us that, like, we can tell you exactly where we were that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that we were talking about it with some friends of ours. And I was like, oh yeah, this is where I was. And Jerry was like, well, I was putting on my boots and being told they didn't know when I would be home again. And I was like, oh, okay. That's where 3 years does make a difference because we hadn't met yet. So, like, that's where 3 years can, you know, age ranges make a difference. And then sometimes they don't.
Yep. So, we'll dive into...
We're going to go to some lighter music, less angry music now.
No, we're not.
Well, that's true. It is still angry. It's not the same kind of angry, though. It's...
Have you read Daisy Jones and the Six?
Well, they're not rapping.
Well, no, but it's a heavy book.
Oh, heavy, yes.
So I'm going to cover Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm not going to do a total deep dive like I normally do, just because this is a thick book with very heavy themes. Mm-hmm. So I will try to cover the highlights.
Before you start, I have one question, because you have done both the book and the show. I have not. So would you say, because I know how much you love this book, and I know this is like your third read?
It's only my second.
Second, okay. Still. So oh my God, my brain just lost the word. In, like, terms of book versus show, how pleased were you with the way that they did the show? Like, would you recommend it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did good, or they did well with the material, and what they changed, I can support and get behind. Okay. It made sense. Like, it wasn't unnecessary, and I feel like the changes they made really, like, moved the plot forward, because there are some very slow moments where. So the book is told in a documentary format, where this person is interviewing the members of a band from the 70s called Daisy Jones and the Six. Which gives me major Fleetwood Mac vibes. Oh, it's very, very heavily influenced by Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac. The songs from the book / the show are available to stream. 2 of them are in my summer playlist. I love them. Absolutely. There's a whole, I think if you listen on Spotify, which I feel like everybody our age does, there's a playlist that has all of them on it. Well, they have an album. You can buy the vinyl. Right. You can go and it's all there. Yeah. But it is like 70s alt rock, Fleetwood Mac. It's that vibe. Absolutely. So it's told in a documentary format with a person interviewing the band members, because this is a fictional band and everything like that. Like, it's not a, quote, true story or anything. The people that didn't know it was a fictional band, by the way. Yeah, I know. Because I'm scared for our society. I will say, though, like, this book is very convincing. Like,
You had said that the first time you talked about.
If you didn't explicitly know and you were not like up on like your 70s bands, you would for real think that this is like a nonfiction book. All like their lingo, the way they speak, what was going on at the time, like it's all there. Like it feels real. So this interviewer is interviewing the members of this band because the band was popular for only like 2 years. They were at their peak. Like they were just going up and up and up, becoming more and more popular. And then they just all of a sudden broke up and the public doesn't know what happened. And this is the first time that the band members are sitting down and they are each telling the whole story, but they're each telling their side of the story.
Gotcha.
So Daisy Jones was born in 1951 and grew up in LA. She was an only child and she was a lonely child. Her parents were way too wrapped up in their own lives to really give her any attention. Her name is actually not Daisy Jones. That is a name that she chose as a teenager because she wanted to shed everything that her parents gave her. She was also a very, very beautiful girl. By the age of 14, all of her parents, like artists, friends and stuff out in LA, they were always asking to photograph Daisy or paint Daisy. Like she was just enchanting to be around. She has very vibrant red hair. I said she was born in 51, but even by like the 60s, she was already taking on like that Bohemian 70s vibe that everyone knows. And that was just Daisy. Daisy recounts how when she was 14, she pretended to be a groupie for a band at a club, and that got her in. Her first time getting drunk and stoned. Her parents didn't even notice that she was gone that night, and she went out the next night and the next night and continued to go out. She eventually became a regular at all of the clubs around town, and all of the bouncers would recognize her and just let her in. They never asked or checked for her age.
And that sounds very common to a lot of stories I've heard about that time era and like the band scene.
Yes.
Like it sounds extremely accurate to that.
Another person that is being interviewed is Simone Jackson. She was not part of the band, but she was Daisy's best friend. And she was big in the 50s and 60s as a disco star. She was a little bit older than Daisy. She was in her 20s. But she could tell that Daisy was just like a lost soul looking for where she belonged. And Simone kind of took her under her wing. They moved in together. Everyone was doing drugs, including Simone, but Simone is quick to point out that she did just enough to where no one would like question, well, why aren't you doing this? She stayed pretty sober and she made sure Daisy was okay. Back then, they didn't know what the term like addiction was really. And it was just something that everyone did. And it was just the way things were. So when I go through this, everyone's going to be like, yeah, she's definitely a drug addict. Yeah, she's definitely an alcoholic. That those weren't words in the lingo back then. Like people just did things. So Daisy stayed there for 2 weeks with Simone before she went back to her parents' house to get more clothes and get more of her stuff. Her dad asked her if she had broken the coffee maker that morning. She had to tell him that she didn't live there anymore. That's how oblivious they were.
I was going to say, I just know based on what you said, she wasn't even there.
Yep. But she's being accused of breaking the coffee pot. So. That's how great her parents are.
That's lonelier than... Yeah, that's just horrible.
The one condition that Simone had for Daisy living with her was that Daisy had to go to school. Daisy did eventually graduate, and she used her diploma as a bookmark. She was not academic, but she's very smart. She loves to read. She loves to write. And as she got older, that's when she started writing songs and poems. And that was like her channel of getting things out. So Simone was eventually dropped from her label, and they had to move out of that house. Simone started waiting tables, and Daisy had to move back in with her parents. Daisy started seeing a guy named Wyatt Stone of the band The Breeze, and he was madly in love with Daisy, even though she was only like 17, maybe just turned 18 at this point.
Again, very common for then.
Yep. But
Not okay,
but she didn't love him the way he loved her. The book also goes into various SA situations with Daisy. So just a trigger warning there. And not just with this guy, like this is throughout the book. He attempted to write a song about Daisy, and he was like working on a song while she was like in the bathroom or something. And she comes out, she's like, "Hey, what are you writing there?" And so he plays it a little bit and sings a few of the lyrics that he's written. And she just sits down and writes the song way better than he ever could. But,
that is so Fleetwood Mac right there.
But he took it and ran with it, and it became that band's biggest hit. And he said that he wrote it alone.
Of course he did.
Daisy didn't want to be anybody's muse. She wanted to be the somebody that wrote it. And this book is not told in chapters. It is told in sections. So that first part is called Daisy Jones the Groupie. This next part is called The Rise of the Six. So the Six started out as a blues rock group out of Pittsburgh. We have Billy, the lead singer, and Graham, the lead guitar. They're the Dunn brothers. In 1967, they got Warren on drums, Pete on bass, and Chuck on rhythm guitar. And let me just say, Warren is the comic relief. He takes nothing seriously. I don't think he has a serious bone in his body. I also think he only has one working brain cell. He is something else.
King Julian.
So Billy is the lead singer. He's also very, very good looking. He's always had a girlfriend. He always has girls fawning over him. We get a little bit of their backstory. Billy and Graham's dad left when they were 9 and 10. Supposedly, he told them that he was moving to Georgia. And they just never saw him again. And they legit
never... I'm going for milk and didn't come back.
Yeah. Never spoke, never saw him ever again. They start playing small gigs, and they eventually start playing a wedding. And Billy sees this old man dancing with a woman that is their age, and he like does a double take, and it's their dad. After they finish playing, they confront him, and he doesn't even recognize them. They have to say, "Hey,
they were like 7,
9, and 10."
Oh, still, like, of course,
still kids.
Yeah, like.
Another person that is interviewed through all of this is Camilla. She is, as she's being interviewed, she is the wife of Billy. But she also gives her account of everything that happens as well, even though she's not technically part of the band. But at the time, she was a cocktail waitress at the hotel where the wedding was taking place. After the wedding, Billy sees her and kind of shoots his shot. And it works. They start talking. And long story short, they fall in love. So they start playing more and more gigs. They do have to replace one of the members. They replaced Chuck with Eddie. Chuck was being not deported. What's the military term? They're being sent off.
Deployed. Sorry, I was like, does she? Okay.
I kept wanting to say deported. I was like, that's not the right word there.
Wrong word.
He was getting.
I'm sure they felt like they're being deported.
Probably because they were going to Vietnam. So.
Yeah, deployed. It's
deployed.
It's nom. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So at the time, the band is called the Dunn Brothers. They join another band who was on tour in the Northeast called the Winters. They meet their keyboardist, Karen. That's her stage name, Karen.
All right.
And they they're like, hey, we need a keyboardist. And she's like, I'm not looking to trade bands right now. I'm kind of happy with the winners. But that changed when she met Camilla. Camilla kind of showed her like how women could fit into a true like rock and roll type scene. And that's what Karen has always wanted to do. So Karen takes a leap of faith and joins the Dunn brothers. So they need a new name. Eddie's actually the one who suggests the Six, just because it's simple and they can't really... Mm-hmm. No one liked the name the Six, but no one hated it. And everyone hated everyone else's suggestions. They started getting shows in New York and Boston and just all over the Northeast. And they eventually got the attention of a like big time Hollywood manager. Mm-hmm. And then they start getting gigs all over the East Coast. Billy eventually writes a song called Senora for Camilla, even though technically she's a senorita, but she doesn't want to break his heart because she's like, oh, you wrote me a song. And it becomes like a really big hit for them. I think it breaks the top 10. So they kind of decide to go to LA and see what this manager, his name's Rod, what Rod can do for them.
I feel like Rod is not going to be good.
Well, Rod's not really in the picture for a long time. He was also a drug addict, and he just kind of shoves them off to a guy named Teddy Price, who is a legit music producer. Like, he's well known in the industry. Like, to put it in today's terms for the other Swifties, he would be like today's Jack Antonoff, okay?
Oh, I'm not a Swiftie, and I know what that means.
So, like, he's a big deal back then. And he gets their attention, and they're like, yeah, I want to make a record with you. At this time, Billy and Camilla had, like, broken up. But then they're like, no, we miss each other too much. Let's get married. So they get married. This next section is called It Girl. And it basically just goes into how Daisy's getting discovered. And she gets signed onto a record label, but they kind of want her to just play what's already in their catalog, not stuff that she's written. And obviously Daisy's like, no, that's not my vibe. So she does like record a few songs from them, basically makes like a little EP. And like, it's great. It gets her name out there, but she is not happy with it. And she gets out of that contract.
Which that happens to a lot of artists. They're like, no, just do what we want you to do for now. And then we'll let you do what you want to do. Yeah.
But they didn't even want her to do, they just wanted her to sing their like little radio pop hits. And that's not what she wanted to do. Now we're in the section called Debut. If you want to read along, it's on page 51. So the whole band, all of the six, including Camilla, lived in the same house out in LA. So 7 people living in this house. And they wrote their first album. Well, really, Billy did. He made it clear from the beginning that he was the songwriter, he was the creative behind this, and they were all just there to play his songs. His brother Graham and the other guitarist Eddie are not happy with that arrangement, and it does create tension that goes throughout the book, especially with Eddie. He kind of wants to be the frontman for his own band. And that's the vibe you get, is that he was not happy with how Billy was leading the band. Especially because by this point, Billy's drug and alcohol usage was starting to get out of control. On page 59, they are going out on tour for that album they made. It's doing really well. They are quickly becoming a household name. But Camilla is not going. She is currently pregnant. I'm scrolling. I don't want to get into all that. There's some very sad stuff that happens. While they're on tour, it's like one of the last nights of the tour, Camilla shows up just as like a surprise to Billy. And it's like the morning after that show, if I remember correctly. And she walks on the tour bus, and she's very surprised because she walks onto the bus to him in a various position with other women. They have it out, and she flat out says she's not going to let Billy ruin their lives. She says that he has until November 30th, and then he will be a good man the rest of his life. The baby is due December 1st.
Okay, then.
So with this deadline, he does double time after that. He goes on a straight binger. Teddy shows up on that show November 29th, takes Billy home. Camilla is in labor, and they drive straight to the hospital. Billy is like having a panic attack in the car on the way, saying he can't do this. He can't meet his kid like this.
Well, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. So Teddy says, well, you have an option. You either go in there and meet your child, or you go to rehab. He chooses rehab.
Good. Well, I mean, it's sad that you're not there for the birth of your child, but you need to get clean for the life of your child.
Exactly. He spent 60 days in rehab. He didn't meet his daughter, Julia, until she was 3 months old.
Whew.
So let's see. He gets out of rehab. They are working on a new album, but it's not great. It's kind of just a rehash of what the first album was musically, but now the lyrics are all dark and sad because that's what Billy is. He's dark and sad and depressed. He's been in rehab for 3 months. He has nothing to write about. He feels like he's losing his wife. He doesn't know how to be a father. And he also deals with not knowing how to be a father because he didn't have a father. So he has all this going on in his head. So we have Teddy suggesting, hey, you have this one song called Honeycomb. Why don't you turn it into a duet? I really think it should be a duet. He's like, I know this girl named Daisy. She put out an album last year that did pretty well. She's got a great voice. I think y'all should meet. And Billy's like, okay, I guess we can see what she has to say. Daisy. She shows up to the studio in nothing but a men's button-down. Like a men's button-down dress shirt. And that's literally all she's wearing.
Is she wearing it as like a dress at least?
Yes. But she's an absolute mess. You can tell that she is on drugs, is hungover. She asks for a really strange, it's like whiskey and milk. Like she wants a whiskey and milk.
Interesting.
And Billy didn't know this, but Teddy, the producer, had given Daisy the song. And she was like, okay, I'll work on it. And so she had worked on it and given Teddy a copy of the song, but Teddy did not pass that along to Billy. So when they go to record this, Daisy is singing what she wrote, thinking it's fine. Billy's looking at her like, why are you ruining my song? And Teddy's like, please don't fight, please don't fight, please don't fight.
This is Teddy's fault.
It is. But they end up listening to Daisy because all of the band members, since they're all there, they're all agreeing that what Daisy wrote and what she did to the song was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, we can do this. And Billy, like, very reluctantly gives in because he does not want to relinquish control of his creative project. So they put that song Honeycomb on their second album. And that song, like in today's terms, goes viral. It is literally playing everywhere. It goes to number 1. It puts them on the map. So then they go on the Numbers tour. They announce that Daisy is going to be the opening act of their tour. Blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to skip through some of this. I got too many notes, and I even tried to whittle it down. While on tour, everyone can see that, like, Daisy is on drugs literally all the time from the moment she wakes up until she goes to sleep. She has
She's also
this
very sad.
Well, she has this schedule where in the morning she takes an upper to get her up and going, and she drinks it with champagne, or takes it with champagne. And then in the afternoons, I forget what she does in the afternoons, but then at night, she physically cannot fall asleep without taking something. So then she takes a downer.
Yeah.
But then all throughout the day, she's also using various other things. They show it really well in the show where she literally just has like her purse with nothing in it but drugs. That's all it is. No wallet, no keys, no lipstick. Nothing like that, just drugs. And even Simone, her friend, who is not on tour with her, but like talks to her on the phone and like writes her letters and stuff, she can even tell that Daisy is spiraling. During this tour, Camilla was also pregnant again, and this time she has twins. Obviously Billy's in a much better place now. He is completely sober. He has not drank or done drugs at all. And he writes another song for her called Aurora. When Camilla heard the song, she knew instantly that Daisy needed to be on it. They have a band meeting and Teddy decides that Daisy Jones needs to officially join the band, and everyone agrees. They're like, we can't do this without her. Like, Daisy and Billy butt heads all the time. They do not get along, but creatively they are on the same path. So they become Daisy Jones and the Six. This is really funny in the show. I forget what episode it is, but everyone is kind of like arguing over how they're going to write their next album. And Teddy has like had enough of it after a couple of days of fighting. And he's like, Billy and Daisy, y'all just go somewhere and go write. Leave me alone. Go off by yourselves and write a song.
Apparently they need a get along shirt.
They hate each other. Billy hates her because she can act and do however she wants, and everyone just kind of puts up with it just because she's so charming about it. Mm-hmm. But when he was acting like that a year ago, everyone hated him for it. So he's kind of resentful for her in that aspect. And she just doesn't like Billy just because he's butthead. Like, he has a bad attitude all the time. He doesn't want to relinquish control of anything. There's no partnership. Like, it's either Billy's way or the highway. But they do. They go off and they write a song. And some tension arises between the two of them, and not in that way. There's like an attraction. Obviously, Billy doesn't want to act on it. Daisy doesn't want to act on it because she's not friends with Camilla, but she doesn't want to do that to Camilla. And Billy doesn't want to cheat on Camilla,
She's trying to be
obviously.
a girl.
Yeah. But there's no denying that like there's something there. And Billy actually writes a song called Impossible Woman, and it's very clearly about Daisy, but he wrote it for Daisy to sing, and he absolutely denies that it's about her, even though literally everyone, including Camilla, knows that it's about her. And one day Camilla comes to the studio to hang out, and she brings all the kids. Camilla and Karen take the twins for a walk around the block, and Karen asks Camilla what to do about Graham, because Karen and Graham have secretly been like hooking up behind everyone's backs. Mm-hmm. And Karen doesn't want to commit, and Graham is like a hopeless romantic, and he's like already planned their wedding, how many kids they're going to have, where they're going to live. And Karen doesn't want to give up her career. So she's asking Camilla, like, what should I do about this? And at the same time, Daisy and their other daughter, Julia, are bonding. Julia later asks Camilla if Daisy can be her best friend. I was like, oh, you're adorable. And then it cuts to Warren, and he says, Daisy would make a great aunt.
No.
I was like, Warren. That night, Daisy goes home and writes a song called A Hope Like You. It's about wanting something you can never have. Basically talking about how she wants a daughter like Julia, but she knows she can never have that. Blah, 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 blah. They do a photo shoot for the album. Mm-hmm. When they finish writing it, you know, they got to do a photo shoot. So they have the album cover and all the album art, stuff like that. They do it out in the desert, and they do it starting at like sunrise to like mid-afternoon. So they're there for a while. And it's very evident that Billy and Daisy are like avoiding each other. And the photographer even gets that. He's like, okay, y'all, come on, let's arrange this way.
Like when you have two kids and it's like, just take a, mom's like, just take a picture for me.
Yeah. And he says he takes literally thousands of photos, and he can't get them to like even look at the camera at the same time because they don't even want to look in each other's direction. But he happens to snap just one where one of them had done something that gotten the other's attention. So at that 1 second, they had looked at each other, and the photographer's like, that's it. That's the shot. And that photo shoot, also, Daisy had shown up in a white tank top with nothing under it.
Do you think she does this knowing what she's doing, or do you think she just doesn't care and dresses
She doesn't care. She goes into that.
Because there are both kinds of women in the world. Some genuinely are like, I don't dress for you. I do whatever I want. I'm one of those. Like, I wear what I want to wear, and it has nothing to do with anyone else. And then there are other people in this world that are like, I have a strategic reason why I wore this.
No, Daisy just does not care. She will dress how she wants, say what she wants, all of that. But it's very suggestive. And that one picture of them looking at each other and her dressed that way, it definitely evoked and implied something there.
Gotcha.
And this time, it's not just in front of the band and not just in front of Camilla. This time, it's going to be in front of the whole world. So the album is finished, and it's going to be released. And Daisy is like, I'm going to go to Thailand.
Okay.
So she goes to Thailand. She sends Simone a postcard telling her to come join her. And Simone is like, I do not want to come to Thailand. And Daisy's like, no, you got to come to Thailand. So Simone's getting her stuff. She is on her way to Thailand. Daisy meets an Italian guy named Niccolo Argento. They immediately fall in love. And she follows him to Florence, and they get married.
I guess as one does. Sure.
This all happened before Simone could make it to Thailand. So Simone shows up in Thailand, goes to the hotel. Daisy's not there. She asks, like, does anyone know where this girl is? They're like, oh, she went to Italy. So Simone goes to Italy. She finally catches up to them in Rome. Daisy is absolutely blitzed out of her mind. Simone has never seen Daisy this bad. And it's all Nick. He's like basically forcing drugs on her at this point. Like, even when she says, I don't want to, he's like, yeah, you do. And forces her to do it. And Daisy has also chopped off her long, beautiful red hair into a bob. All because of him. I'm like, ugh, I hate this man.
Sounds like Daisy has so much going on, like in her past, her current life, that if somebody was like, let's get married, she's like, okay, because she
wants to be loved.
She wants to be loved, and she doesn't know how to deal with what she doesn't know how to work on what's in front of her.
Yeah. I didn't mention this earlier, but they had a Rolling Stone journalist come and interview them before Daisy had officially joined the band. Mm-hmm. And that Rolling Stone interview, it really did well. And that's kind of what pushed Daisy to join the band in the first place. So now that their album is coming out, his name's Jonah. He comes back for another cover story interview. And Daisy comes back to the U.S. with Nick because they're married now. And Billy immediately takes a disliking to Nick. I think you know why. They basically
I don't like him.
Well, they almost fight pretty much every time they interact with each other. And Nick can also tell that there's like something going on between Daisy and Billy, whether anything's actually happened or not. He can just feel that there's a connection there. So Nikki's jealous of Billy. Billy hates Nikki. Billy is aggravated with Daisy for just taking off and not telling anyone. Daisy is still mad at Billy because he's Billy. Like, it's a whole thing. So the journalist shows up. He's getting all these vibes too. And everyone thinks that because all the other band members also have stuff going on. I'm just touching the highlights. Mm-hmm. So that journalist, he reads each band member to absolute filth. He's like, no, here's what you have going on, and here's what you have going on, and here's what you have going on, and I need everyone to just sit down and talk like normal people to me, please.
Well, it's because it's somebody from the outside, it can easily come in and be like, oh, whoa. And sometimes it's very hard, especially even in a group, like to notice the problems, basically.
Yeah. Well, and you remember how I said Karen and Graham were hooking up? Mm-hmm. Warren knows that Karen is hooking up with somebody because he heard her one night in the hotel, and he assumes that it's one of their lighting people.
So he knows she's hooking up with someone, but he's not correct on who.
No. And he keeps moving it around. He's like, oh, well, maybe it's this guy. Oh, maybe it's this guy. Oh, well, she winked at this guy.
Funny.
I love Warren. He's hilarious.
Oh, that is so funny.
So Jonah takes Daisy outside and he gives her an explicit out. He's like, you don't have to talk to me if you don't want to. Like, I really respect you as a musician. And she's like, no, I don't need an out. I will tell you whatever you want to know. So she makes a very bad decision and decides to spill all of the tea about Billy and his various addictions.
Oh, no.
The next night, Jonah tells Billy what Daisy said. Billy is begging Jonah, please don't publish that. Jonah's like, unless you can give me something else, like, this is a huge story. She said it on the record. I have to publish this. So that story doesn't get published, Billy tells Jonah why he can't stand Daisy Jones. Jonah goes back to New York and he writes this article in less than 48 hours. It is the fastest article he has ever written.
Because it sounds like it wrote itself.
Yep, it did. Their album comes out, and the next day that article comes out. Damn. Their first single, Turn It Off, debuts at number 8. Everyone was eating up the drama.
Well, listen, because we do. Because, as I said to my husband the other day, we don't personally want drama. Like, I don't want drama. You don't want drama. But if I can view it from afar... Right? Yeah. Like celebrity drama or like something going on like across the street or like you're walking through the city that you're visiting and you see like a lot of cop cars and you're like, well, we gonna go this direction now. Like that's the kind of drama I want in my life. I don't want any personal drama. I want it to stay over there and just like peep it. You know.
I'm actually going to stop there because that's probably like 2/3 of the book. The last third of the book. I just don't want to spoil it if anyone hasn't read it or hasn't watched the show. But it's really heartfelt. This is another book that gave me the sniffles because I don't cry, but I do go. I get sniffles, and this one especially, like the last couple of pages, it hit me hard.
I think you had some tears, which is not the same as crying.
No, I didn't. Nothing came out of my eyeballs.
Not this one. I meant there was a book that did. Was it the one?
Clairbo.
Oh yep.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah,
you were
that one.
Okay, this was hard.
Yeah.
This was hard.
This one is not as deep or as hard as Clairbo, but it does come. I won't say. Well, I guess I will say it does come pretty close. But yeah, that's Daisy Jones, most of Daisy Jones in the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Like, I really only hit the high parts. There's a whole lot in here. If you don't read it for anything else, just read it for Warren. Oh my goodness. He is a treasure. I love him.
And I will say, I have not met a Taylor Jenkins Reid book that I did not like.
Yeah, I think I'm only lacking one now. Well, 2, I guess. I haven't read Atmosphere.
You haven't read Atmosphere. You have not read Atmosphere. But You know what I have in my hand that is on its way to you as soon as I can find the best way to ship it to you? I'm trying to find somebody who's going to charge me $45 for one book. It is beautiful, though.
If it has to wait till you get back to the U.S., it's fine.
I'm not paying $45 to ship you one book. Like, I love you, but that's like... It's not like, oh, listen, somebody's going to be like, you ain't got $45? I got $45. It's the principle of the matter.
Yeah, no.
Bianca shouldn't even be paying $45.
No one should pay $45.
No, so I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I also want to get it to you safely. But this beautiful piece of artwork from Taylor Jenkins Reid is a recent acquisition for the both of us, because we both got a copy. Again, Waterstones. It is a spined edition, and the sprayed edges are pure just Literally, it's supposed to be like the view from, when you're up in the atmosphere, essentially. It has high praise on the back of the book from both Kristen Hanna and Andy Weir.
I love both of them.
Yes. So,
speaking of Andy Weir, I meant to put this in our show notes, and I'm so sorry I just yelled. But have you watched the trailer for Project Hail Mary?
It looks so good.
I'm so freaking excited, y'all. That was my number one. What was that? 2023. I read that. That was my number one book by far.
And you just happen to really like the actor that is going to be in it too, which I do too.
Project Hail Mary is going to be starring Ryan Gosling. I think he is perfect for that role too.
I feel like it's a great fit. I'm not completely switching gears, but really quickly while we're on the topic of fictional celebrity husbands.
Okay.
Did you see the new, I should have said this same too, I should have yelled this earlier, but did you see the new cast listing for Practical Magic 2?
I have not.
They added 6 new members to the cast.
Okay.
To include one of our other celebrity husbands.
Who?
Lee Pace.
Hold on. Why does that name escaping me?
Ma'am.
Lee Pace. Oh, Pushing Daisies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I had a moment.
What just happened?
I was on Ryan Gosling. Okay. I'm sorry.
I know. I was shifting to another one of ours. Anyway.
Why do I know that name? Yes.
They added 6 new celebrity names to the cast list. Diane Wiest, Stockard Channing.
Ooh. Wait, no, she was in the original.
Who?
Stockard Channing.
Yeah, but they confirmed.
Okay. Gotcha.
This is who they had not confirmed before she was in it. So this is the names they're adding to the confirmed list.
Okay.
Because we already knew Nicole and Sandra, but we didn't know anybody else. So you have Diane Wiest and Stockard Channing are returning. And then they announced Lee Pace, Maisie Williams, Solly McLeod, and I always get this. It's XOLO, and I forget how you pronounce it.
XOLO.
Mendoria. Yeah, he's new. He was a new. I was familiar with the space, but
Cobra Kai.
Yes. Yeah, he was in Parenthood as well, but I think he was a little kid in Parenthood. Oh, and he was in Blue Beetle. But yeah, I can't remember how to pronounce his name correctly, and I feel really shitty about pronouncing names correctly because, look at my name. But yes, you were I was like, oh. So anyway, yeah, just a little segue there. Yeah. But yeah, so we have a dual acquisition this go around though.
Yeah. I'm going to mention it again when it finally gets to me, though. I'll be like, I finally have it.
I finally have it. You know what? I may even wait to read it, so I'm not like, I read it, Bianca.
You can read Daisy Jones and the Six if you want your TJR fix. I'm just saying.
Well, I haven't read all of hers. You've read way more of hers than I have, so I really think I want to do Malibu Rising next.
Before you read Malibu Rising, you need to read, what's the other one? Because that's technically a spin-off of another character.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no. Okay, so you read Malibu Rising first and then read the tennis one.
Oh, okay.
What's it called? Because I'm going to get to it. Where are you? Goodreads, work with me here. Carrie Soto is back.
Yes.
So read that one and then read Carrie Soto.
Okay. I have read Maybe in Another Life.
That was a good one. I like that one.
And I loved Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
That was a good one.
That was so good.
I've also read One True Loves and Daisy Jones and the Six. That was the other one.
Yeah.
So I'm missing After I Do and Evidence of the Affair.
And Forever Interrupted.
Oh, yeah. That one. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I think I really wanted to read Malibu Rising next.
That one is set. It's very 80s.
I'm going to love it.
Yeah. 80s California, to be exact.
Okay. So I'll continue on the list really quick. I've been trying to behave on my acquisitions. I did order, and I made a video about this on our TikTok. I did order from a beautiful soul that I met on social media that has her own, with her husband, they have a like gaming / bookstore. So they sell like Warhammer and board games and books. And she does blind date with a book. And they're out of Sweden. So if you want to go to their website, you do have to use like Google Chrome or something where you can hit translate, which is super easy to do. And then you could message her first and make sure that they can, in fact, ship to you, especially if you're in America. But I found out she could ship to me here in Czech because shipping is weird here. You and I have experienced this. So I ordered one of her blind date with the books, and I got The Ghost Cat by Alix Howard.
Did you say The Ghost Cat?
Yeah, cat. Meow.
Okay. Who is the author?
Alix Howard.
Alix Howard, okay.
And it's a short read. It's only 227 pages long with acknowledgements. Listen, you're laughing at me, but like, what did you want me to do?
I'm going to
go back and spell cat?
That's going to be your like identification tone on my phone.
Okay. Yeah. Brad's going to be like, what is that? Oh, it's a text message from Marissa. I should change yours to hello. I'm afraid, though, sometimes when we text, we either text very minimal or we text a lot. And I could imagine, meow, hello, meow, hello. Our husbands would be like, make it stop.
I'm crying. Oh my gosh.
I love when I make you cry. Yes. Imagine Napoleon Dynamite. Yes. Okay. So I'll give you tiny
Ghost Cat.
Yeah, The Ghost Cat. I'd never heard of this book before, but I was instantly excited when I pulled it out. It says 12 decades, 9 lives, 1 cat. It is set in 1902. Was it Edinburgh? Yes, in Edinburgh, which is like the second book this week I've talked about that's set in Edinburgh. But it's a cat named Grimalkin, and he witnesses the changes over the next 120 years. Basically, we live his last day on Earth with him before he becomes the ghost cat. And then he witnesses changes for the next 120 years, prowling unseen among the inhabitants of Edinburgh tenement, while unearthing some startling revelations about the mystery of existence, the unstoppable march of time, and the true meaning of feline companionship. I was like, that sounds very cozy and probably even a little sad. But I'm excited for this one.
How long is it?
227 with acknowledgments.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, not bad at all. And this is the first time in a long time, it literally says the end. I have not come across a book in so long that said the end. I don't know why, but I'm kind of excited about a standalone. You know I love a good series, but...
Yeah, but sometimes one good story is...
Yes.
Hits right.
It's
different. It's different this time. You're welcome, Swifties. Okay.
I was like, I can't join in that one for you.
What else have you acquiesced?
I did purchase 2 books for myself in that lovely stack of things I sent you the other day. 2 of those were for myself.
I posted it to our Instagram if anyone wants to go see that stack.
I know you were like, I sent you a selfie and I was like sweating so hard that day because I had like walked all over the city, and you're like, can I post this on Instagram? And I was like, yeah.
You look great.
Well, I'm glad because I'm glad you feel that way. I
didn't see sweat anywhere.
I felt it. So I actually purchased, I'm confident, these are middle grade books, but they just sounded so fantastic. I'm trying to pull them up now.
Is it Bella Bright and the Witch Tree?
No, I didn't. This is Hedgewitch by Skye McKenna.
Hedgewitch, is that one word?
Hedgewitch.
Oh, Hedgewitch. Sorry. Let me turn my listening ears on here.
It's okay. So it's a series. Right now it looks like there are 3 of them. It's Hedgewitch, Woodwitch, and Sea Witch. And I bought the first and the third because they didn't have the second. And they also were cheaper than they were like on any online retailer, which is, for me, unheard of because I sometimes pay dearly for books, for English books over here. And they just sounded really cute. So in this book series, it's going to be a 5-book series when she's done. It's recommended for readers of Nevermore, The Worst Witch, and Dark is Rising, which I love The Dark is Rising. In this series, we meet Cassie Morgan, who it's been 7 years since she last met her mother. She was left at a very dreary boarding school, and she spends most of her days hiding from school bullies and reading forbidden stories about the world of fairy. So Cassie is certain my mother must still be alive. She has to be. So she's determined to find her no matter what she has to go through. And she ends up running away from school. She ends up lost and alone and is actually chased by a pack of goblins, but escapes with the help of a flying broom and a talking cat named Montague, who takes her to a cozy village of Hedgeley. And this is where she discovers that she comes from a family of witches, women who protect Britain from the denizens of fairy, who are all too real and far more frightening than her storybooks suggest. And I thought that sounded really cute.
And I see on Amazon it is listed as a children's book, but it's 400 pages.
It is 400 pages. It is middle grade, so
that's still kind of big for a kid.
It is, and the second book is not any smaller. 448 pages for book 1. Book 2, which they didn't have available, but I was like, book 3. I ended up getting these for like $10 and $12 a piece, like US.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. I feel like I have to skip. Book 2 comes in at 400 pages, it says. And then 3 is 320, which is still a sizable amount for a middle grade book.
Yeah.
And the third one just came out in 2024. So, and there's 2 more that should be coming. Oh, it says 320 pages for the Kindle edition. So it may be more for the actual physical edition. Oh, yeah. 448 pages in paperback.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. I was trying to be like, oh, it's not that bad. Yeah. So they're all some chunkers, but I would call them easy reads. And I know somebody's going to be like, it's not an easy read. It is an easy read if you're an adult reading middle grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to some, no, it might not be. There are a few pictures. It's not like heavily illustrated or anything, but there are some really cool pictures. I actually started reading it already and read a good chunk of it on the train ride back from purchasing it. So I actually shot video that I'm going to post. You can't really read much of it, but it does show a couple of they're basically like pencil line drawings. They're in black and white. So I do have that to share in the coming days. But yeah, that series, the 1 and 2 of that series and Ghost Cat and Atmosphere are all I have done. I have some pre-orders I'm about to do that'll come, like they'll all come like fall, early winter.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about those next time. Because I haven't done it yet. I have a list, though, because, again, Waterstones has a few on there that you can get. It's books I wanted, and you can get them signed. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. That changes the game when they say signed special edition.
Do you have any recent reads you want to mention specifically?
I do want to talk about one book that I specifically started reading that apparently is going to be a Netflix television show. And the reason, or it may be already, I actually found it at the bookstore and then decided to look it up on my Kindle. It's called The Spaceman of Bohemia.
Oh, yeah. I saw where you were reading that.
Yeah, so Bohemia is actually a state inside Czech Republic. Like, I live in Moravia. Bohemia is where Prague would be. And it's by, it is in English. It's by Jaroslav Kalfar. Sorry, you have to roll the R. I apologize if I said your last name wrong. But this book so far is fantastic. Apparently, I was going to see what it is going to be on Netflix. A lot of people said if you like Project Hail Mary, that you would like this.
It has Adam Sandler.
Is it out yet?
Oh, it has Kunal Nayar from Big Bang Theory.
Spaceman. It's
yes.
just turned into a movie called Spaceman. Yeah, so I haven't finished the book yet. So it's not a television show. Sorry, it says it's a television. Oh my God, it's not a TV show. It is a movie,
and it's produced by Channing Tatum.
Interesting. Some people gave it bad reviews, which, listen, I haven't watched the movie, but...
Well, to be fair, if Adam Sandler's in it, it kind of sways it a little bit. It has a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes and then a 5.7 on IMDb.
Which, I'll have to, and, that doesn't mean that I'll completely agree with it, but this book, so far, I think it is absolutely fantastic. So our main character was orphaned as a boy, and he ends up being raised in the Czech countryside by his very doting grandparents. His name is Jakub, and he kind of rises from like small village to this scientist, and he becomes Czech's first astronaut. And there's a dangerous solo mission to Venus that offers him the chance, kind of like at the heroism he's really dreamed of, and a way to atone for his father's sins, because his father was a communist informer before the Velvet Revolution. So this allows him to like venture into like the vast unknown. But when in doing this, he actually is leaving behind his devoted wife, Linka, who he kind of realizes too late, how much she loves him, like how much she put into their relationship. And he's kind of sacrificed this on the altar of like his ambitions. And she supported him so strongly in it. So now he's alone and he's deep in space and he's discovering possibly an imaginary giant alien spider who becomes his companion. They have a lot of philosophical conversations about nature of love, life and death, and even the deliciousness of bacon gets brought up in this book more than I could count. Okay. At one point, he's missing bacon so bad, he's like, I want it between my fingers. I want it in my toes. I want to like bathe in the bacon. And it kind of goes back to a story of something that happens with his wife one of the last mornings he's like on Earth. And he's like, I should have just eaten the bacon. Like, I should have just said thank you kind of thing. And now he's up in space and he's like, I just want the bacon. I want to bathe in the bacon. I was dying laughing at it. It's an intense, like, it's emotional, but like, it was making me laugh because like, how much more can you talk about bacon? But apparently you can. This pair will form kind of an emotional bond. And then you kind of go from there and it's like, is this enough to like bring Jakub through a clash? Is he gonna be able to like reunite and rekindle the love that he realized? Not that he didn't love his wife when he left, he did, but like you're up there alone, you have a lot of realizations at that point. So I haven't fully finished it, but it's a delight. It has a 3.81 on Goodreads. I am doing it in audiobook, and I do recommend the narrator. I do have it on 1.5 speed. I slowed it down from my normal. It has won several literary awards. I don't know how I had never heard of this before, but I did find it on the English bookshelf in a Slovak bookstore, and it is written by,
I was going to ask, is it like, is it originally written in another language and translated to English?
No,
okay.
He wrote it. He actually, the gentleman that is the author of this book has actually done translations for a couple of other authors.
Oh, okay.
Their books getting turned into English.
I didn't know if it was like some of mine where I've read them and stuff gets lost in translation.
No, so the author, he was born in Prague prior to the revolution, the Velvet Revolution. That was like 1989 because, 1991, I'm pretty sure I have my year right, is when Czech Republic and Slovakia became separate entities after, the fall of communism, essentially. Yeah. And that's when they became independent countries and they weren't Czechoslovakia anymore. So when he was born basically in Czechoslovakia, but he grew up where like Prague would have, where Prague is. So he would have been Czech. And he started writing short stories and he ended up immigrating to the United States at 15 because he knew he wanted to pursue writing in English. And he actually ended up studying writing at the and literature at New York University. And this is when, while he was there, is when he actually wrote the very early draft of Spaceman of Bohemia, which was his debut novel.
Okay.
So, yeah. So he writes, from what I can tell, predominantly in English. I haven't found anything of his that said, like, translated. Because it sounds like he wants to write about Czech in a fictional, yet like some of the stuff that he talks about is real. So I guess in some ways it's not historical fiction, but it brings up a lot of things that did happen, but in a fictional story.
Yeah.
I would recommend it enough that I've already marked that I would like to read his other books. He has another one called A Brief History of Living Forever. And it again is about a Czech woman that comes to America. So the whole story is apparently set the majority of the story is set inside America, but in the year 2029.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and if I remember correctly, Spaceman of Bohemia, it's also in the future. It's not current. It's not like crazy in the future. I think it's supposed to be like 2027 or something like that. Like when he wrote it, it was crazy in the future. Right. Yeah. But like, because they talk about like using cell phones, but he talks about like specific like boroughs of Prague. And I'm like, oh, I know where that is. Like, so it's really fascinating and really interesting. And like it has already it's had very heartbreaking moments. It is only like 300 pages. So also not like a thick, like 300 is decent. 300 to me is normal. That's not a chunker. That's not a novella. That's
normal.
That's just a normal book. So yeah, I would highly recommend this book. And I'm not even finished.
Any others? Or are you good?
Well, that's it for me. I'm trying to keep it low.
I will mention my recent reads first. So I'm currently reading Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Mm-hmm. It is a retelling of the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland. Basically,
is this a reread for you though?
No, this is my first one.
Oh, nice.
I've read it, like I've had it for forever. I've just never read it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it now. Yeah,
it's been on my TBR for like ever. Because anything Alice or Allison adjacent is like, it's my jam.
I'm a little over halfway. It's okay. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I'll put it that way. Yeah. I finished Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. It's the second one in her duology, the Heartless Hunter duology. Mm-hmm. It was just as good as the first one. I loved it. I will eventually buy them. I read them on Libby. I also recently read Majesty by Katharine McGee. This is part of her American Royal series. If you want a mindless teen drama in alternate America where George Washington was actually our first king instead of our first president.
Ooh.
Yeah. I got Brittany into it. She read the whole series in like a week. I was like, girl, slow down. So now.
No, she's like me. I think she does listen. She does read physical books and Kindles, but I think she does audio on like 1.5.
Well, she mainly only does audio because she just listens to an audiobook whenever she has time. So she's already read like 100 books this year.
Dang.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not by much, y'all. But yeah, American Royals by Katharine McGee. And then those are the ones that I'll mention that I recently read. I do have quite a few acquisitions because
I saw that stack.
Because I'm Bianca, I don't know how to say no to things.
Actually, you know what? When I was watching that video, because you posted it on Instagram, and I was like, what in the Miranda did Bianca do?
Well, 2 of these I can say are from a used bookstore here in town. One is Close Knit by Jenny Colgan. I've read a few Jenny Colgan books. They are just like lighthearted, cozy little fiction books. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, it's $2. I'm going to get it. And then the other one, this is I think it's a new to me author. I don't think I've read any by Alix Harlow before. Let me make sure before I go saying things. Yeah, no, I've never read anything. A few of her books are on my list. I've just never read anything by her. But this is The 10,000 Doors of January.
I've heard that's really good.
It's a very pretty cover. I love the cover of it. The premise is, as the ward of the wealthy Mr. Locke, January Scholar feels little different from the artifacts that decorate his sprawling mansion, carefully maintained, largely ignored, and utterly out of place. But when she finds a strange book, one that tells a tale of secret doors, love, adventure, and danger, for the first time, January realizes she can escape her story and sneak into someone else's. And then Target had this book on the sale, and I loved it so much. Thank you, Miranda, for making me read it.
Which one?
The Spellshop by Sarah Beth Durst.
There is a special edition of the second book on Waterstone.
Well, I got the paperback, and it has the pretty purple sprayed edges.
Oh, yeah. Where's mine?
And I was like, it's 20% off, and they're going to match the online price on top of the 20% off, so I'm going to go ahead and get it. And then Barnes & Noble had a sale. This was a different, because they had 2 different sales going on this past week. Mm-hmm. So the first one was 25% off pre-orders. I'm not going to go into all those. I'll just list those as they come in, and y'all can hear about them then.
You can make content you can just make content.
Okay. That works too. But these 4 you can go see on my reel that I made on Instagram. I basically bought all of Emily Henry books because a bunch of their fiction was buy one, get one half off. Mm-hmm. So I was originally going to wait, and I knew eventually I'd find them at like Goodwill or a used bookstore somewhere, but I was like, I'll go ahead and purchase these now. Thank you.
Sometimes when you want them, you want them.
Because I've been in a mood where I just want to read like, because I won't say Emily Henry's lighthearted because her stuff like has very deep undertones and like it's at your heartstrings and stuff. But I need a break from fantasy. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'm about fantasied out for a little bit, y'all.
I have been listen, I also love fantasy, but I have been in more of a either cozy or spooky. I want one of those. That's where I'm at.
So that's all I've got. Go, if you want to see the covers of these books that we have been mentioning, go follow us on Instagram at Bells with Books Podcast. Mm-hmm. You can also find us on the TikTok.
Yep.
Under also Bells with Books Podcast. You can follow me on both Instagram and TikTok. I am at Stylin' Freak. You can follow Miranda. Type in at Mom's a Nerd anywhere, and she pretty much pops up. And do you have anything else you want to add, Miranda?
Yeah. So absolutely follow us on social medias if you have any suggestions on books you think we should read, or you want to comment on the books that we have read. Please join us in the conversation. We usually posting everywhere. I have a goal this month to post once a day. I've already broke that. There was one day I didn't post, but like I've been on vacation, so I'm trying here. So I have a goal to try to get something once a day, at least every other day over on our TikTok. So come join the conversation. We are almost at 2,000 followers. Like it's not that high. Like we still need some help, but we're over 1,000 now and we're on the stretch to 2,000. So if you could come over there. And as a reminder, we are a member of Place to Be Nation podcasting group. It is a passion of mine to remind you that there is something for everyone on our feed. We have a lot going on. And we have a Facebook group where you can come be part of the conversations of what's going on over there, and a website that includes articles of different variations that are not heard on any of the podcasts that are produced by Place to Be Nation. And to go along with that, there was something I was going to say, and my brain just went dead, because that's how my brain works.
It happens.
I was dragging it out, hoping it would come to me, but I am still working on uploading everything to YouTube. Thank you to those who have already gone over and started following us on YouTube and even watched some of our videos. We've had some likes and some watches, and I've only ever really said it on here. I haven't announced it like too many other places. So I was pretty excited seeing people go over there because, yeah, like it's just like natural, organic, and that's what I love. That's how I want to really grow, to be honest with you, is like organically and naturally. But next month, we are doing something kind of different. We are reading books based on their cover color. So this is something we'll probably carry on, not consistently, but we're going with orange first. So next month, you can come back here, join us again when Bianca and I discuss individual books. We'll have an orange cover. So while you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, we will be. So come find out what we have to say about those. And until then, keep reading.